Greetings, educators. I'm Baika, and I'm the host of Global Educators Show. I started this show so I can invite teachers and parents and educators from all around the world to come together, share their story and their mission to everyone around the world. In this episode, we talk about the importance of healing our inner child wounds, common signs of hurts, and some healing techniques. In order for us educators to be the best educator and mentor for our students, we have to do a lot of inner healing and we have to heal first.
That's why we have a holistic therapist. She has been on the show TLC's 90 Day Fiance Last Resort. She's a clinical hypnotherapist and the founder of Spark. Let's welcome her on this show, and I'm super blessed to get this chance to interview her. Sarah, can you tell us a bit about your background?
Well, first, thank you so much for having me. I'm very, very excited for this conversation today. My background as it pertains, I've been in this industry or this field of study for about over 12 years now. And before that, I started in the realm of holistic fitness. It was more fitness, nutrition related. But a lot of what I was doing was mentoring people, making lifestyle changes and these types of things. Through just kind of a natural evolution of my own journey, it transitioned into a deep, deep passion for healing because I noticed that people who came to me for help with their bodies, there was always something deeper happening on the inside. And so I developed a really deep passion for healing at a deeper level and noticed trends, right? I noticed trends of where these kind of limitations or blocks were held. And it was much deeper than the body. It was much deeper than even I can tell you how to make the changes. And this is what led me into hypnotherapy because I realized that a lot of these issues stemmed from childhood and they were stored and operating from a subconscious level, meaning these people, even though they wanted to change, even though they wanted improvement, they couldn't bring themselves to do it because there was something subconscious that was blocking them. And so that's how I got into hypnotherapy and then kind of branched out with different tools from there.
I'm gonna add all of the details in the description. Make sure you guys check it out so you can get to talk to her one-on-one on more like on a personal level. And let's dive into our main core content of today's episode. This is episode 16, and I'm super excited that we're going to be talking about this topic. And the topic is healing our inner child. But before we start, please walk us through, give us a rundown. What is our inner child?
Yeah, so the thing to keep in mind with our quote unquote inner child is that we don't just have one. Okay, so we are a system of many parts. And what happens throughout our lives is at certain instances or experiences or times in our life, we may become fragmented at that time, meaning if there is a trauma or a situation that happens that particularly affects us deeply emotionally, um, and I just want to mention with that, usually the majority of those moments happen between the ages of 0 and 7 years of age, which is a child age. And so the reason that we say inner child is because usually most of our trauma and wounding, our deeper wounding, happens in this time frame. And what happens at these moments is that when a trauma happens or a situation happens that harms us or affects us deeply emotionally, that part of us actually gets stalled or frozen or fragmented in time. Meaning we keep moving forward in time, right? Time keeps going on, but there's a part of us, an inner child part, that's still back there. It's still back at that time, at that maturity level, at that emotional level, at that place in time where we were hurt. And so we are actually operating in this way out of many, many different inner child parts. And the other thing that I want to say about our inner child is that it takes on the qualities and characteristics of a child. Now, we can have an inner child part that is not wounded, and it could be totally whole, meaning it feels free, feels playful, it feels joyful, all the things that a natural and whole inner child would feel. And so we're constantly kind of toggling between these places. And so when we talk about what is our inner child, it's like, well, it's the part of you that has childlike characteristics, right? The emotional part, the playful part, the creative part, the very reliant part, the part that needs validation and love and nurturing and holding and these types of things. That is what our inner child really is.
Make sure you watch the video till all the way till the end because we have techniques that Sarah's gonna share with us on how we can heal those wounds. And it's not too late. It's not too late. So make sure you watch the video all the way till the end. And moving on to our second question is that what are some common signs and symptoms that people have in their child wounds?
Yeah, it's really easy to spot once you can notice the characteristics of, a healthy child versus unhealthy or wounded child. And so, usually, what we see if we have inner child wounds, which, if we're being honest, we all really do have some sort of inner child wound. And typically, this comes from parents, by the way, our parents, even if they were the best parents in the world, or we mean so well, right? It's inevitable that there's going to be some sort of gap or wounding or empty space or hole. So some common signs and symptoms of inner child wounds. We got to think of this as quite literally a child. Okay. When a child is upset or hurt, what do? They sometimes lash out, they cry, they whine, they want to seek attention, they shut down completely. The inner child may rebel. Okay, so we have this maybe rebellious or stubborn behavior, like, no, if you tell me I should do this, I want to do the opposite. And this could be in response to an outside source, but it could also be in response to the inner voice, right? Oftentimes we have this, what I call a polarity that's happening inside. If we have a very strong inner critic or a part of us that's like, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you shouldn't be doing this, right? The wounded inner child will say, well, I'm not gonna, right? I'm going to do the opposite types of things. So it's just kind of sabotage behavior. And it could also lead to trouble expressing emotions, right? We don't know how to express our emotions with words very calmly. We don't know how to handle conflict. We don't know how to handle relationships. So we either run from it, shut down from it, these types of things. It also, though, looks like a lack of self-confidence because when we have wounds as an inner child, it points back to a feeling or a gap of self-worth that the child never developed, that I'm capable, I'm strong, I'm independent, my words mean something, these types of things. So there are so many different signs. Ultimately, what we're looking for is any emotional ineptness, meaning I'm not able to handle my emotions or I'm not able to handle others. And I handle things in an immature way rather than in a way that is loving and adult-like behavior.
A lot of my audience are teachers. I also have moms who have toddlers that are my listeners. And I just want to tell you guys that kindergarten teachers, primary teachers, all of you teachers are very important. My next question is, how do primary education and kindergarten teachers shape our inner child?
Well, the roles of teachers are so important. It's like this age and this place and time for kids is crucial. It's vital. And sometimes, guys, sometimes as a teacher, well, actually, oftentimes you are one of their biggest mentors apart from their parents, right? Parents are number one, even if they're present or non-present. But the secondary main mentor in any child's life is their teachers. And they look to you for guidance. They look to you for examples of how to be. Is it safe in the world? Who am I? Who am I in this world? And how do I relate to people? So your roles in the kindergarten way is especially at a kindergarten level, right, is less about teaching them facts and, information and more about teaching them how to feel emotionally safe in the world and how to interact safely emotionally with others and teaching them that social aspect and kind of the analytical aspect of the world and helping them to cope with that. You know, one thing I would say is I know that it can be hard in that space because it's crowded and there's a lot of expectations on teachers to do a lot, and it can be exhausting. And I know that it can be exhausting. But I think the best tip thing that I can tell teachers is to do your own work. To do your own work, to center yourself, to remain centered in that way. And because this will transfer onto the children and in your ways of being with them. That is what I can say for, well, really all of us, you know, parents, teachers, doesn't matter our role. When we're doing our own work, we are much better able to be there for others.
That is so true. I think that's why I have this episode.
And
I
yes.
and we can become better educators. The name of my show is Global Educators. It's all about creating a safe environment for children. I have a lot of episodes on positive psychology, positive discipline. If you guys have not watched any videos, please go back to my YouTube channel and watch any of those videos. But I think when I first met you, your vision and your purpose as a hypnotherapist really resonated with me. So I just would love you to kind of like touch upon that a little bit, how inner child wounds directly reflect our adulthood relationship.
I would love to, because as we talked about earlier, you and I just in private, it's a shared passion and mission of both of ours that, um, you know, our wounding as children, talking to adults right now, our wounding as children directly reflects whether or not we transfer that to the next generation or not. And so the importance of us doing our own, you know, we can say inner child healing, but healing in general in a deep level is going to dictate whether or not we carry this on to generations and generations to come. And so a lot of my clients are parents. You know, a lot of my clients are parents, or whether they're divorced or still married. Some of them teachers, yes. But I see that the wounding can so easily come out as a side effect as they're raising their children, and thus traumatizing their children in similar or different ways. You know, right now I'm dealing with even my niece, who my sister, I have tried so many times to help. And, you know, she's struggling with identity and school and all of these things. And this just goes to show you that when we're not focused on healing ourselves first, it inevitably damages our children and the next generation and the next generation until somebody chooses to break the cycle, right? But I believe that we are in a season, in a phase of time of cycle breakers. And so that's, you know, that's the best work we could be doing as human beings.
Yes, I love that. We're all cycle breakers. I love that. I love that. What are the main three healing techniques that people can start practicing at home?
So I think what I'd rather do is give 3 steps. Because this is very simple, I think, and practical for every single one of us to be able to do. So the first step is awareness, right? And I want to point out that awareness is only the first step. Okay, a lot of people think that, oh, I'm aware and thus I'm healing. It's only the first step. So bringing awareness to our triggers, what puts us into these modes, right, of woundedness, what triggers us into highly emotionalized states or stressed states or these responses, right? So just to take note, first of all, what's happening. And you don't need to say, oh, here are all my triggers and make a list, but you just need to become aware of when you do get triggered. What does it look like? Do you shut down? Do you get elevated? Do you lash out? What does that look like? Okay, that's step number one. So just bring awareness. When I get excited, and I say excited in a way of like, I just went from like calm, peaceful state to a different state, right? Elevated emotional state. This is what it looks like for me. Step two is to really go inside and investigate. Okay, get curious. What's happening here? What's really happening here? What is upsetting to me about this? What am I scared about? What does this remind me of? Oftentimes, that question will lead you to an inner child wound, by the way. What does this remind me of? Oh my gosh, this reminds me of when my mom used to do XYZ or whatever that may be. Okay. So that's step number two. And the third step is, what do I need? What do I need right now? What do I really need, right? Do I need comfort? Do I need to know that I'm safe? Do I need space? Do I need to relax? Do I need to play a little bit more, right? These could be very surface level in the here and now types of answers, or they could be larger answers like you need more balance in your life. I've had that come up for me many times. I need to balance my life a bit more. I need more play in my life. I need more community in my life. I need support from my husband or wife, right? I need more breaks from my children so that I don't get to this place. It could be anything, but you just want to get to a place where you can actually slow down and listen inside for the answer because it will come. It will come. It will arise. And then just like a couple more tools that I want to add on to that is, we need to evaluate and do a little analysis of our lives in general and just say how how much space do I have for my own inner child to express itself? Do I have enough playtime for myself? Do I have enough creative space, time, energy to give and to pour out into the world? Am I being creative in general? Do I feel free? Do I feel like spontaneous and adventurous? And so if you don't have those things, then it's important to start to create space and time for those things, just so that you don't get to a place where your inner child feels completely suppressed and bogged down and exhausted. Because oftentimes when that happens, that's when we hear things like, I just feel tired all the time. I don't feel motivated. I don't feel, any like zest, or I'm just going through the motions. That's because the inner child has been suppressed and it's gotten to a point of just being bogged down and exhausted, and that's usually when it just wants rest. So be proactive.
These three techniques, even though you might find them very mundane or like very simple, they will drastically, tremendously change your life. And
And I do want to just say, just in addition to that, usually it is simple. I think that the more complex healing becomes, the less likely we are to do it. And so healing, it is very simple. And when we could do those simple steps, you'd be like, I hear this all the time from people that I work with. It's like, could it really be that simple? Is it really that easy? Once they feel more freedom, and I'm like, yes, it is. Like, trust it.
I know it's so easy to I think like in school or like at work, we're kind of wired or programmed to think, be creative, be creative, be creative, do like always look for a new scientific evidence.
Yeah, yeah.
I talk to a lot of my students like, what do you want to become? I want to become the next Albert Einstein. Like I want to become
Something
the next
huge. Yeah.
scientist who discovers, revolutionizes this generation, right? Although big goals are important, but it is okay I mean, it is wonderful and amazing to be creative, but sometimes we wanna like think simple. I'd like to take it back to you. I think you have a great
I
advice.
do. Yeah. I have something that I want to tell teachers and parents because to help both your creativity and your child's whatever children you're working with. Oftentimes it is very tempting to do more toys, right? Give them more things to stimulate them, more. But what that teaches children and yourself too is that I need more in order to be content, or in order to play, or in order to have fun, or in order to be stimulated. When the truth is that creativity comes with less, and being creative with what you have. So I would say limit the toys with the kids, limit the amount of stimuli that they have, because you will train their brains, and do this with yourself too, of course. Train your brains to actually find the creativity in very mundane things, right? Social media is an arch nemesis to this because it is just ping, 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 very fast movement, and that kills creativity.
Student yesterday. he was telling me, why do I have to learn grammar? Why do I have to learn creative writing? It's so boring.
Well, and the truth,
But
the truth is a great question to ask the kids in that circumstance is, well, what would make this fun for you?
yeah.
How would you have fun with, grammar or whatever, something like that. And they'll come up with crazy ideas. Oh, well, let's go outside and do whatever. And you're like, okay, if that helps you play. But the point is that when their curiosity and interest and physiology, their physical body is involved, they will retain 98% more of that. Probably, that's not a fact, that percentage, but much more of that information. And that's actually true for adults too. When we are curious about something, when we have interest in it, we actually retain more of the information than we would otherwise just learning to learn.
Amazing, amazing. So this is like a wonderful reminder also for me. Are we missing play? Are we missing more fun? Are we missing
That's
more
right.
movie times? Are we missing,
Yep.
we want to
Yep.
feel ourselves holistically. And I think that's
Yep.
why you are called a holistic hypnotherapist and to
Yep.
teach us how to heal ourselves holistically. There's not one inner child. So, yeah, as we kind of wrap up, what is kind of your like last message to anyone listening here? They might be starting their inner child healing journey like new, like a beginner. Like, do you have any last message to anyone that's listening?
I don't know why this came to my mind, but I'm just going to go with it and say, don't take anything too seriously. The whole point of all of this is so that we can feel more of ourselves, we can feel more of the world, we can experience a better time during our life here, our very short life here. Don't take anything too seriously. That's kind of actually counterproductive when we're trying to heal the inner child who just wants to play and feel and do all of these things. So my first thing is don't take it too seriously. Um, be committed to it, but don't take yourself too seriously and don't expect your kids to take things too seriously either, because it's not to them, especially to them. It's not that serious. So take it how they would see it. And then number two is just do your own analysis of your life. How am I doing, right? Is everything just too wound up and too serious and um too rigid, right? And then free up some space for you and your kids, whether they're your students or children, to just give yourself that space to play. That would be my final words.
Yay, let's all have fun. This was so much
Yes,
fun.
let's
This
have
was
fun.
so much fun. And although it's evening for you, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for everyone for listening, tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and watch out for our next episode. Goodbye till then.